I'm going to be quiet because I know most of us are still recovering from daylight savings. So clap. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM, coming to you live from Site B at 8:30 in the morning on the 6th day of November 2023. I'm drinking coffee. It is warm and sunny outside. We are all recovering from daylight savings time. I had a conversation yesterday with my mom, and I was like, is this Mandela effect? Because I remember voting no more daylight savings time. And I remember that passing unanimously, like all over the country. Both sides of the political fence were like, why are we still doing this? And they said, okay, that's it. The next daylight savings time is the last daylight savings time. That was at least a year, if not 2 years ago. It was before I moved to Site B, so I know it was a while back. We're still doing daylight savings time, and I still don't know why. Because, yeah, I don't feel like I got anything out of falling back. Anyways, you don't care. Let's move on to the topic of the day. It's the morning. It's Monday, which means it's time to take a look at all the tabletop freebies, sales, and charity bundles. That's right, bundles. We were in that weird. Another thing I was thinking about last night. We're in that weird space between the end of the Halloween summer season and the beginning of the rush to Black Friday holiday season. So there's like, that weird week where we're just sort of this nebulous void of nothing. And, just like the silence between the end of one rush and the beginning of the other. So that's going to probably affect what we see on the sales this week. A lot of VTT this week. Weird. I don't know, weird collective unconsciousness of retail that so many different people just sort of coincidentally release VTTs at the exact same time. No rhyme or reason, just, the collective unconsciousness of the industry. So, yeah. And since there are a lot of VTTs this week, I'm going to have to remind you yet again, please, if you download any of these, check them for all the latest versions of viruses and malwares and worms and all the other horrible things computers can do to you. Okay, please. Also, of course, a reminder that these are all PDFs unless I specifically say otherwise. And in regards to the charities, well, I've said it 100 times now. I don't think I need to say it anymore, right? Just maybe consider giving the money to the charities directly instead of dealing with a middleman. Starting with Drivethrough Freebies. From Sam Strider, we have Captain's Collateral's Chilling Collection, a Halloween-themed book for Starfinder and Pathfinder. So basically just some Pathfinder Halloween-themed, vaguely ocean-themed type stuff. We also have from Modifius, Mysteries of the Manor, a Cthulhu, Octung Cthulhu type adventure where you go up against evil antique collector. Chicanery. Wow, there's a word you haven't heard in a long time. Chicanery. Okay, it brings us a system agnostic adventure called The Thing in the Well, where you go and investigate a well. And what's in there? Encoded chicanery. Wow. I mean, when was the last time I heard that? You heard that word used in a sentence. Encoded design. Encoded. There's another great word you never hear anymore. Encoded. Encoded design is a sister unusual adventure called The Curse of the Pumpkin Patch, which deals with fall and the end of the fall and the beginning of winter and pumpkin patches and evil vegetables. 2 cool words in a say. Access RPG brings us the Elder Properties of Dark Matter, a 1880s inspired Call of Cthulhu. Not that a 1980s Call of Cthulhu adventure wouldn't work as well, but yes, the Elder Properties of Dark Matter is set in the 1890s, so I suppose you could also set it in the 1990s. Lindsay Bunup brings us Haunted Trappings, a generator to create themed haunted locations amid settings for various type games. Dueling Dragons released The Chronicles of Ares, The Last Summer Light, an OSR adventure inspired by folk hero and folk horror. God, I cannot read this morning. Let me get some more coffee in the system. Man, this daylight savings time is kicking my ass for the first time in a long time. OSR inspired folk horror. Remember, we looked up folk horror the last week or the week before that, so we now kind of generally understand what it is. Grim Goat Games. Say that 5 times fast. Grim Goat Games has a collection for monsters called Wicked Gourd and Gourdhead, featuring animated pumpkins and other squash and gourd monsters. Dungeon Master Guild time. All of the following are on Dungeon Master Guild. We have Night Watch, which is for 3rd level 5e adventurers, doing a sort of horror detective adventure in a city where you're working on the Night Watch, and chicanery. There, I got to use it. Chicanery happens. Another one, we've got Laguna 101, brings us Heraldry of Bavaria. So it brings us a whole bunch of shields and sigils and coat of arms for the various made-up places and houses and stuff that you might encounter while traveling around in Curse of Strahd or Bavaria Ravenloft-themed adventures. Also on Drivethrough, we have the OSC Monsters Guild, featuring 4 playable Monster Girl-type characters, because, yeah, Monster Girls. No, Monster Girls also appear in Wretched Slime. My latest Wretched novel just came out last week. If you haven't picked up the Wretched Minions series from the Wretched verse, every 2 weeks or so that I've been releasing these, the latest one, it features Monster Girls and Slime Girls. So check that out. It's only $2.50. For Shadowrun, we've got Shadowcast Street Punks, which offers new options for Shadowrun. That's also over on DM's Guild, which is weird. We've got the Red Right Hand, which is also for Shadowrun. Deals with singers in Montreal being kidnapped. Over again at DM's Guild, Skavenloft brings us Derf of the Week, a Monster of the Week random table. We also have a 5e adventure based upon the Wizard of Oz over at DM's Guild. It's called A Tourist at Odd. Lazarus Lair has released Devil's Inc., where the players are demonic employees of a diabolical company whose task is to spread misery through humanity. If you're familiar with the anime Hell of a Boss, it obviously is inspired by that. That's on Drivethrough. Back on DM's Guild, we have the Science Spellbook, featuring us 100 new spells based upon things that might actually exist in the real world, like quantum mechanics and science. Those comes from the Gorillas of Destiny. I guess you guys don't know that there is a tag team called the Gorillas of Destiny. I don't know if you can copyright that, though, so you should be fine. Dice and Dish brings us a 6th-level Dungeon Crawl Classic called Horrendous Tower. I have yet to be in a Dungeon Crawl Classic game where anybody has lived to 6. I don't think that is possible. I think you're lucky in DCC if you make it to 2nd. That's free over at Drivethrough. We have the Ancient Alien Artifact for Traveler in Cyberpunk, called 1000 Alien Artifacts from Frontier Space. That's on Drivethrough. It's for generating randomly weird alien things to find in, well, sci-fi or just, I guess, anything. If you want some, magic items that are indecipherable and nobody recognizes, Chameleon Dreams brings us Dragonhead Banger's Handbook. Dragonhead Banger's Handbook. Another OSR type system called Dragonhead Banger's Handbook. Headbanger's Handbook. Dragonhead Banger's Handbook. Deficient Games has released The Count, the Castle, and the Curse, a gothic horror adventure for Shadowdark. Nice to see Kelsey is still getting love. We've got a Mork Borg inspired gothic horror called One Night at Castle Gas, where a castle appears only one day a century and then whisks away anyone still inside it. Back to DM's Guild, we've got a Premiere on Gemstones by Gabriella Desprint. It's converting various gemstones to 5e rules and the reported properties of those gemstones, plus modifying gemstones and stuff like that. Mind you, those reported properties of things that gemstones can do, like heal you or whatever, that has never been scientifically proven. So do not buy Gabriel's book and think that it is a accurate guide to going out and finding rocks in your garden and then using those rocks to perform things like, I don't know, breathing fire or healing a broken leg or whatever. No, that's never been proven. Gabriel said it would in his book. We've got a living cost expanded list on Drivethrough for 5e for all those people who actually pay attention to things like living cost in 5e. It's just, do people do that in 5e? Worry about things like the, arrows. Black Cat Nerd brings us a random table called D100 Rogue Traits. So when you're creating your next rogue character for D&D or any type character, the game that has roguey type stuff, which is pretty much every game, you can roll on this table to come up with quirks and stuff to make your rogue stand out from all the other rogues, just in case you can't think of your own. Ryan Brendrick brings us add-on rules for underwater combat in 5e, how to think in a 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional world that is underwater, because underwater, you've got to think about above you and below you, as opposed to when you're just doing combat on land. You only got to think of things in front of you, behind you, to your right, and to your left, right? But when you're fighting in a 3D environment that's underwater, you've also got to think about what's above me and what's below me. That's always, one person I saw came up with a pretty good way to do with it, and it's still the way I use, just using like dice and a piece of paper to show where you are underwater. But if this guy's come up with a better way to emulate underwater combat, then I highly recommend it. From Gonzalez Sanchez, we have The Price of Power, a 3rd-level 5e adventure about a city where stuff is going on. Perhaps it looks like it's an insurance fraud case in a city. Where'd that mysterious fire come from? There's a random encounter for 5e called Barroom Blitz, based upon a specific song. Does that ever work? Lightning round time. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new miniature maps for your 3D printer. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new player options for 5e. And that brings us to the end of the freebies from Drivethrough and DM's Guild. Moving on to sales. Kobold Press has the Black Flag Role-Playing Adventure Pack bundle available at sale with 10 adventures written for Kobold Press's new 5e derivative. Let's check that out. So people have somehow already wrote stuff for this system, even though it's only been out like a week. Or is they're just saying, hey, you can use these with Black Flag? Because some of these look familiar. So maybe they're just re-releasing them and saying, these can be used with the Black Flag. Because the way it's written, you can now say it's Black Flag appropriate. Everybody download the Black Flag thing. It was free. So now you can release product and say, I'm protected by the Black Flag, which is also protected by the ORC and the 5.5 SRD, because, again, remember, Wizards didn't put it under the one they thought they were going to put it under. So they actually, that's a separate story. Dragonbane Core Set is available from Free League Publishing for VTT models. That's over at Drivethrough. So if you want to get the Roll 20 VTT plus PTF bundle, it's $45 and gets you the PDF of all the Dragonbane stuff plus the VTT stuff for Dragonbane. So that's kind of cool. Dragonbane getting a lot of good press right now. We've got a trio of books for Shadowrun from Penumbra. That's $15 for the bundle. From Black November bundle on Dungeon Masters Guild, we've 40 Forgotten Realms books, including adventures, maps, character options, NPCs, alternate rules, and a whole bunch of other stuff for Black November bundle on DM's Guild. That's $16. Over on Drivethrough, we have a completely different collection of 15 maps for VTTs. This one's just basically got the same name. It's just kind of called the November bundle. I think that's this thing here. And that's $5. And if you're looking for some more maps, there's a grab bag bundle of maps for VTTs, and that's on Drivethrough. It's called the Heroic Maps for November, and it's $13. Moving on to charities, Roll20 Con has a trio of bundles on Drivethrough to support Roll20 Con and the Extra Life bundle, including Root, Sephiroth Deluxe, Traveler, Fate of Cthulhu, and Teeny Dungeon. $25 is the most popular pledge. All proceeds go to Extra Life. There's another bundle from Roll20 Con. This one includes Scion, Sly Flourish's Fantastic Locations, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Soulbond Starter Set, and Kobold Press's Tomb of Horror Heroes. $25. All proceeds go to Extra Life. DM's Guild has also got a Roll20 Con Extra Life DMG bundle. Includes setting expansions, character options, and adventures and more. And again, this goes to support Extra Life. All proceeds. James O'Holahan and Adrian Cherskovsky bring us Arcanum Worlds presents Change of Asmodeus, the 286 surprise adventure for 5e for 11th through 20th level characters. This is officially okayed by Wizards of the Coast. This is, according to Wizards of the Coast, an official surprise adventure for 5e. It's called Change of Asmodeus. It is being called by many people the best 5e adventure that Wizards of the Coast has written this year. It's called Chains of Asmodeus. It is $30, and all proceeds go to Extra Life. Red Nose Days is coming up, and Critical Role is doing their annual Red Nose Day stream on November 28th. It goes to report, comic relief and children's hospitals and stuff like that. If you remember the last one, the time they did that, basically you donate, and the donating allows you access to certain polls and stuff like that. And then depending upon how much donations each one on the poll reaches, that's the thing they do in the adventure. So basically once an hour, Mercer will check the results of that poll and go, and then build the adventure. I don't know how it works, but apparently it works. Itch.io has a bundle for the situation in the Middle East, the Israel-Gaza thing. We're not going to touch that one because it's way too much of a hot topic. And two, it's Itch.io, the company who called me a Nazi. So screw you. Janelle Jaquez, our friend Janelle Jaquez, is still dealing with her hospital issues and her health issues, suffering from Guillain-Barré syndrome. My dad has Guillain-Barré, so I know how hard it is to recover from that. So she's got a GoFundMe going to cover her medical bills and recovery expenses. Janelle, the godmother of dungeon design. You will often hear people refer to Janelle, in Jaquez style mega dungeons and Jaquez style. I'm probably saying your name wrong, Janelle. I'm sorry. Jaquez style dungeon building. So yeah, she's got a GoFundMe, and every penny you donate goes to help dealing with her incredibly large medical bills. We've got a Dungeon Crawl Classic bundle link down below. There's a bunch of funnels. I love Dungeon Crawl Classic, and I love the funnels. I think the funnels are great. I think they're hilarious. I love the idea of starting with basically 4 blank character sheets and just running through and seeing what you get at the end, and that's the character you play in the next campaign. I love that idea. I don't know why I do. I just do. I think a lot of people don't, but whatever. It's $10, and it goes to support direct relief, which means 10% goes to a charity of your choice. Link down below. There is a Palladium Apocalypse bundle. So Palladium is back in the news because of the re-release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is mostly receiving positive reviews. There are already a few negative ones. But this is some of their obscure games, including System Failure, Dead Rain, and Splicers. It's $10, and it's direct relief, which means 10% goes to a charity of your choice. There is a Cult bundle. Cult, a tabletop role-playing game about secret societies and horror and, the Invisible War type thing. That's the starter bundle includes everything you need to start playing the Cult role-playing game, the core rule book, stuff like that. This is $15. It's the most popular pledge. It goes to support Roll versus Evil. And as always with these kind of things, there's always the support bundle, which has all the support product that's been made for Cult over the past couple of years, including some adventures and stuff like that. That's $20. And again, that goes to Roll versus Evil. Blah, 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 blah. You sure you have a degree in communications there, idiot? I'm old and my brain is cheese. Most days you guys are lucky I can talk to you at all. There's another bundle. This one is the Doctor Who Mega Bundle in honor of the, 60th anniversary of the show coming up. We've only got a couple days. It's the 25th, I believe, is the first of the 3-part 60th with David Tennant replaying the Doctor again. I'm very excited about that. And this, of course, goes to support children in need. $18 is the most popular pledge. And it's a huge bundle with everything that's been written for the Doctor Who stuff. And got comic books, novels, audio dramas, stuff for the Crucible 7 role-playing game. We've got the Roll20 exclusive bundle. That's this thing here. This is a hodgepodge of, there's a word I hardly ever get to use. Hodgepodge of bits and bobs. Man, I'm tossing them out. Some great ones today. Bits and bobs that have all been converted to Roll20. So it's got stuff for Dragonbane, Star Trek, Starfinder, Cyberpunk, some maps. Got a weird game called Troubles in Otari. I don't even know what that is. It's got Pathfinder beginner stuff. It's got some tiles. It's got the Fallout role-playing game in it. It's got Fate in it. It's just a whole bunch of stuff from just a wide variety of games that have been converted to run at Roll20, which, if you have any experience using Roll20, is at best a Make's blessing. I mean, yeah, it works. I don't know if it'll ever be my number one go-to VTT because it's so bloody clunky, but it works. And apparently Roll20 has a LFG section that none of the other VTTs do. That has been suggested by somebody on YouTube, Twitter, but I don't know if that's true. I do know that Roll20 does have an LFG, and the only other one I've ever seen doesn't. So whatever. That's interesting to know. Anyways, yes, that's this thing here. So if you are a VTT person, look at this. There's a whole bunch of things that can be converted to digital files. Since they are digital files and you are going to be using them through VTT, check them for you-know-whats. And finally, we've got the Best of Warhammer bundle for the second week. This is from Crucible 7 and just includes stuff for Warhammer Fantasy, Warhammer Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40K, and a coupon to get you 15% off the physical product from the store. $18 is the most popular pledge, and it goes to support children's hospitals. That's another worthy cause. Link down below to that one, too. So, yeah, there you go. There's all the bundles, freebies, PDFs for this week. If you're going to pick any of those up, let me know. I posted links for the ones I think are interesting this week, obviously, as always. But, nothing really 100% stands out to me as stuff you have to get. I do love the fact that somebody used chicanery. Chicanery. You use chicanery and encoded. So just, yeah, I mean, I want to recommend your game just because you use chicanery. When was the last time you heard that word used? Chicanery. There you go. Who here knows what it means? Speaking of chicanery, why don't you take a moment to like, share, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet to the OGGM Adventures, still got time to get that 400 remaining subs and hit 2,000 subs by midnight, January 1st, 2024. Please. Till next time, stay safe out there. Stay awake. I know we're all still recovering from Black Friday. At least I know I am. Caffeine, we love you. See ya.